Hey, welcome to the eBay broadcast today, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I've got one topic in particular on my mind today, and that's a little discussion about product sourcing for eBay. Um, Up to when I say product sourcing, guys, I'm talking about where do you get your stuff to sell, right? Who are your suppliers, and where do you go to find more suppliers and more products? There's a few different places that we've actually talked about and some different options for product sourcing that we've been discussing as of late. One is this one right here, which some of you guys will recognize, some of you guys who have been with me for a little bit. This is one that we reference. You guys familiar with this one? Some of you guys have been using Thomasnet at all? And number two, we've talked about this one in the last few weeks as another spot to get products. Okay, I'm not going to go into details on these. I just want to summarize real quick. This is an option, right? This one we've talked about several times before. Now these two are more like phone books for suppliers. That's like a phone book. That's like a phone book. They're like the yellow pages, right, for suppliers that are out there. And I'm not necessarily saying that these are drop shipping options. I'm just saying these are places where you can find wholesale merchandise. You can find drop shippers within those, but it's not as easy. This one right here is not a drop shipper at all, right? We use them to buy a little bit of light inventory at rock bottom prices. Okay, that's AliExpress. Another way to source products, right, is retail drop shipping. So I'm going to list that as an option here. Some of you guys are going directly to retailers and basically reselling their stuff in a drop shipping capacity on eBay, which is fine. I want to add to this list today, because this is stuff that we talk about on a regular basis. I'm not going to go into detail on any one of these four. I just want to add this one to the mix to give you guys another option. Okay. How many of you guys have heard of number 5 before? Now, some of you who have websites may have, or some of you who have learned about marketing may have heard of this website right here. If you've heard about it from a marketing standpoint and you're using it to market a website, that's great, because we suggest that as part of your marketing, you try to get your website listed within this very popular directory. DMOZ is what we call a web directory. Let me show you what it looks like. Now it's kind of small here, so I figure I better zoom in a bit. That's what it looks like right there. It's a web directory, meaning you can come in here and you can search via clicking on a topic, arts, clicking on a subtopic, art history, clicking on additional subtopics to narrow down your search. I'm looking for pottery. And now I've narrowed my search down to a list of historical pottery websites, right? We got pretty specific there pretty quickly, didn't we? But that's how directories are usually used. And we like to tell you guys to try to get your websites listed within directories when you've got a website up. But this relates to eBay a little bit differently today. I like to use a place like DMOZ as a way to search out some wholesale opportunities, to find some wholesale companies out there that I might be able to partner with, potentially on just a buy and carry inventory capacity, or even on a drop shipping level. So I'll show you where you go to do that, and then you guys can snoop around in this directory. Again, it's like a phone book. So where you would go to do that is you'd click on the shopping link right here. And it'll give you a bunch of listed categories. But we want wholesale. right? Now, if you're doing some retail drop shipping, let me just pause right here for a minute. If you're looking for other retail suppliers that are outside of the realm of big box stores, this might be a decent place to look. The reason why DMOZ is kind of a trusted source is over the years and over a lot of years, they only include websites in their database that are quote unquote good websites. DMOZ has a specific set of criteria, and they have people who look at every single website before they get included in here. So usually you can assume that the websites listed within DMOZ are going to be decent sites. You can't make that assumption in Google because there could be, I mean, you find garbage in Google all the time, but you're not going to find that here in DMOZ because they're screened. So that's why, from I guess a couple of things I want you guys to take away from this today. One, if you're tired of using Walmart, or you're tired of using Amazon, or Sears, or Target, or Overstock, or Macy's, or any of the big household name type stores as your suppliers, you might consider coming into DMOZ like this and searching for some other retail opportunities. One of the reasons why some of the big box stores sometimes aren't quite as good is they're used a lot more on eBay, right? There's more competition with their products. If you can dig in here and find some more specific stuff from lesser known companies, you can hit the jackpot. For example, let's pretend for just a minute that in your eBay store you've been selling sporting goods and they've been moving fairly well. And you want to find some more suppliers for that. I would come here, I would click on the sports section right here, and I might look for whatever, right? I might look for, maybe a memorabilia type site. So I'm going to click memorabilia here, and I'm going to continue to narrow this down. And what I've noticed lately, right, is that golf memorabilia has been selling well. Golf is in season now, isn't it? You've got the major championships being played, and so golf is a little more of interest and in demand right now. And maybe some of my golf products have been selling well. I come in here and I've got myself a list of golf memorabilia retail sites. And the assumption I can make about this list right here is that they're probably okay sites. They're probably decent. Now, I'm not going to say all of them are going to be the perfect drop shippers, but I'm going to say this is going to be a great place to look for your next very specific retail drop shipper. There's a chance that these companies right here, nobody's even using them on eBay. Maybe they're not even selling their stuff on eBay, right? You have the opportunity to maybe get something that's truly unique and different that's not being offered. So these are opportunities that you guys should take advantage of. I always tell my clients, once you get past the point of you've learned how to do some retail drop shipping, you're getting comfortable with it, you're getting faster, you're closing some sales, at that point you may want to look for some more specific companies, and this is just how you do it, okay? Now I can click back. Maybe it's not sports. Maybe it's I don't know, something in the gifts section. So let's click gifts, and maybe it's right. Graduation has been something on people's minds this time of year. So graduation gifts, and now I'm going to get some very specific graduation gift websites that might make perfect retail drop shippers. Now, how do I know if the drop shippers are going to be any good? I don't, right? I'm going to have to go to their website. I'm going to look at their shipping policies. I'm going to look at their return policies. I'm going to see if there's a way that they'll gift ship so they don't send the invoice out. I may make a call to their customer service and just kind of learn a little bit more about how some of those policies work, and then I'm going to try their stuff, okay? So that's beyond the scope of what I want to talk about today. What I want to show you, though, is how to find some more specific retail drop shippers. Now let's go back to that original list. Let's go back to the start of DMOZ again. Okay, so here we are on the home page. Let's go to the shopping section and let's look at their wholesale section right here. Okay. All right, so this is their list of wholesale categories for shopping. Now I could come in here and I could look at whatever, right? Let's click on I don't know, eyewear. So then it brings us into some more categories here. And by the way, when you're looking to narrow down your search, sometimes they'll have listed companies just in the general eyewear category like this. So don't miss those. But if you want to narrow them down further, you may want to say, well, I want to find some, sunglasses suppliers. So I click sunglasses, and sure enough, here we go. We've got a list of wholesale sunglasses suppliers. Now we know they're wholesale. We know they're probably okay because they're listed here in DMOZ. Do they drop ship? I don't know. We'll have to contact them and ask. What you have to remember about drop shipping, and I know I've talked to you guys about this before, drop shipping is kind of a novelty. It's not really all that common in the wholesale and manufacturing space. I mean, it is and it isn't. Right? If I surveyed 100 manufacturers or wholesalers, not a high percentage would offer drop shipping, especially to a startup. A higher percentage of those would if you were more established. But most to a startup probably wouldn't offer it, and that's okay, but there are a few that do, and you can discover them here. So it's worth asking. If they don't offer drop shipping, well, find out what their minimum order quantity is. That's what you want to ask. Well, how many products do I have to buy at once? And sometimes that's $500, sometimes that's $80, sometimes that's $5,000, and sometimes that's $50,000, right? It just depends on the supplier. But you'd want to contact them and see. But I share with you DMOZ today, guys, because I want you to add it to your list of strategies that you can use for product sourcing. We do Thomas Net, which is a bit more industrial, but does have a nice consumer product section. We use Wholesale Central. We can find drop shippers there. We can find wholesale opportunities there. We use AliExpress to carry some inventory on a very inexpensive level. We do retail drop shipping where we get products right from retailers and drop ship them. And then this right here, I want you to add to that mix, DMOZ.org. Are there other ways that we can do product sourcing? There are, right? And we're going to continue to teach you guys about those. But for now, you've got these options right here. Add DMOZ to that list, and let's make sure we put that to good use, okay? All right, so I'm going to open it up just for a minute for questions. You guys have any questions about DMOZ at all today? Have some of you guys used it before in this way? And if you have you found some suppliers? I would be surprised if any of you had. I mean, I certainly haven't really taught it in any of our live trainings unless we've talked about it on a one-on-one basis. I would be surprised. But I'd be curious to know if you have. And if not, that's okay. I'm getting lots of no's here, so I'm assuming most of you guys probably haven't used it. So use it as a good option. I think if for nothing else, even if you're not really interested in sifting through their wholesalers, it's a really good place to go find some unique retail drop shippers. I mean, I'll never forget one of my clients that I worked with years ago, and he was considerably better than a lot of my average clients. I mean, he was pretty sharp, very ambitious, wasn't afraid to make mistakes. And if he did, we talked about him, right? I think those are good characteristics to have. But this guy went out with the retail drop shipping and did well, but reached a point where he could only do so well with the big box stores, and so he hunted for some very specific types of products in some niches that he discovered just through doing normal listings. So like a lot of you guys, when you come into the program, you're like, well, I don't know what to sell. Tell me what works. And so we get out there and we have you list a variety of things. He found one item or one category of items that sold really well. And he went out and did this kind of a strategy, hunted for another group of retailers that weren't the big box stores. And he found some unique products with them, and ever since that's what he's done to make pretty good money. He found a store that was not selling online on eBay, but had their own little online shop. They mostly were in business for some local retail sales, and he basically, from everything he learned in our program, he became the guy selling all of their stuff online. So, I mean, it's a pretty cool story, and it originates from this kind of a process. You guys can do the same. You shouldn't feel like you always have to use the big name suppliers like Walmart or Amazon, because you don't. You can use some more specific stuff. Okay? Well, all right, guys. I think that's good enough today. I think if you'll add that to your list of product sourcing strategies, you'll be in great shape. We are going to meet next week for our live training on Friday, and then we're going to take a break for a week because I'll be out of town. So we will do Friday of next week, so plan on coming along to that. We won't be doing our normal Wednesday webinar, so if you're planning on coming to that, cancel it because that won't be broadcast this week. We will be doing Thursday and Friday next week, though. And then, of course, we've got the other presenters that are presenting during the week. You're welcome to go to those too. All right? Okay. Well, you guys enjoy your Friday and the rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys all next week. Thanks for coming along.